I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same.
Down that road did you get in your mind about playing Ellie in a Last of Us film?
I think it just really felt like a big deal. The highlights of that time, going to Naughty Dog headquarters, I guess, and walking around with Neil and him showing me how the game is made.
Because Ellie still looks and acts like a 14-year-old from season 1, even though she's supposed to be 19.
Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
No, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
I think I found a way through.
Overnight, HBO's crown jewel adaptation turned into its biggest nightmare. One explosive interview, 2 warring stars, and whispers that season 3 is already dead. Did Bella Ramsey's off-screen firestorm torch The Last of Us? Or did Kaitlyn Dever just expose the truth everyone's been afraid to say? Season 1 detonated the so-called video game curse the instant its January 2023 premiere drew 4.7 million live viewers, then surged past 8 million by the finale, even outshining the Oscars airing opposite. Awards season crowned the phenomenon with 24 Emmy nominations and 8 wins, cementing The Last of Us as prestige TV. Critics called it the gold standard for adaptations, and HBO responded by flinging the budget sky high for an even darker, more ambitious second season set 5 years later, a creative gamble that would demand a seamless time jump for Ellie. But when those casting choices landed, they lit the fuse on the fandom's first real firestorm.
For some reason, they made the decision for The Last of Us Season 2 to make Ellie dumb, to the point where she even says that she's stupid. Why? That just kind of betrays the character.
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them, is they're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
Setting the stage for a backstage meltdown no one saw coming. The moment HBO confirmed Bella Ramsey would keep playing Ellie, fans erupted. 2 real-world years had passed, yet the story jumps 5, meaning Ellie should look 19, not barely 15.
Never any fun not being able to go to sleep, just like it wasn't any fun watching Last of Us Season 2. So, in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. So it really conflicts with what the character is supposed to be portrayed as.
Memes comparing screenshots of season 1 and leaked set photos flooded timelines, accusing the show of baby-facing its lead and betraying the character's arc.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa! Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please, you're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
It's planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
Then the studio dropped its bigger bomb, Kaitlyn Dever as Abby, the most polarizing figure in modern gaming. Within hours, #NotMyAbby trended everywhere. Review bomb threats hit Reddit, and fan art of a proper Abby plastered Twitter like protest posters. Comment sections turned into war zones, petitions demanded recasts, and even casual viewers suddenly became digital forensic experts dissecting every frame of promo footage. Tension that should have stayed in the fandom seeped straight onto set, and the atmosphere soured before a single episode wrapped. But the real trouble began once those 2 actors stood side by side under the studio lights. Because that's when everyone realized the clash online was nothing compared to what was brewing behind the camera. Rumors turned into hard reality the day the first director quietly exited and the call sheet lit up with unfamiliar names.
Down that road did you get in your mind about playing Ellie in a Last of Us film?
I think it just really felt like a big deal. The highlights of that time, going to Naughty Dog headquarters, I guess, and walking around with Neil and him showing me how the game is made.
Production delays, officially blamed on weather and location conflicts, started stacking like dominoes, but insiders said the real storm was brewing in the soundstage. Crew members whispered about late-night script rewrites sparked by Bella Ramsey pushing to inject edgy political themes, Clashes that left department heads rewiring entire scenes overnight. Morale cratered. One veteran grip allegedly walked off after a shouting match over safety protocols, muttering that he'd never seen a set this toxic. Kaitlyn Dever, by contrast, moved through the chaos like a ghost, on time, off social media, headphones in, laser-focused silence that only magnified the contrast. The tension finally burst into view during a press junket livestream meant to hype the mid-season break. Bella commandeered the panel with a fiery monologue about using art as activism, sidestepping every story question, while Kaitlyn folded her arms and stared at the floor. The clip went viral in hours, body language experts slowing the footage frame by frame. Bella's dismissive eye rolls, Kaitlyn's clenched jaw, the publicist's white-knuckled smile. Fans who once defended Bella now asked if she'd hijacked the narrative just to scorch it. HBO scrambled to yank promotion schedules, but the damage was done. Headlines screamed of feuds and walkouts, and industry blogs wondered out loud how long the network could keep the lid on. They wouldn't wonder for long, because the next leak would land like a pipe bomb, and this time the whole world would see the fracture with their own eyes. The leak hit like a grenade. A grainy 30-second clip from an internal test screening slipped onto Reddit, then ricocheted across TikTok in under an hour. On the left side of the split screen, Kaitlyn Dever's Abby charging through a collapsing hotel, rage and sorrow flickering in her eyes. On the right, Bella Ramsey's Ellie delivering a supposedly 5 years older monologue with the exact teenage cadence fans remembered from season 1. The contrast was brutal. Comment threads filled with frame-by-frame breakdowns, side-by-side stills, and slow-motion replays. Abby feels ripped from the game, Ellie feels stuck in time, one viral tweet declared, amassing 1 million likes before dawn. Reaction videos poured gasoline on the fire. Body language coaches, former stunt coordinators, even makeup artists weighing in on why Ellie's look hadn't evolved. Within 24 hours, the #FixEllie hashtag clocked 4 million mentions, and HBO's social team went dark. But the footage didn't stop. Another clip surfaced, this time an unfinished confrontation scene with stripped-down audio. Viewers noticed crew laughter bleeding into the take, followed by Bella snapping, "Can we please get some focus in here?" That unscripted flare-up lit new conspiracy threads about on-set hostility. Claims that producers had ordered entire reshoots started swirling, boosted by anonymous DMs from people on the payroll, hinting at blown budgets and missed deadlines. Sponsors quietly pulled promotional tweets. Reaction channels gleefully compiled supercuts titled The Last of Us Season 2, What Went Wrong? Meanwhile, Kaitlyn maintained radio silence. Her only post, a behind-the-scenes photo thanking stunt doubles. The calm only sharpened the contrast, one star fueling the blaze, the other looking bulletproof. Executives hoped the storm would burn out, but they underestimated the internet's appetite for drama. What dropped next wasn't another clip, it was an internal memo, and its contents would force HBO to choose between damage control and outright surrender. The leaked memo was a gut punch. Production was 34% over budget, reshoots already chewed through 2 entire episode blocks, and the network's behavior clause named Bella Ramsey in bold print. Marketing partners panicked. Collectible toy shipments put on hold. A sneaker collaboration shelved indefinitely, and late-night talk shows scrubbed cast appearances. Accounting teams pushed an emergency plan, trimmed the season from 10 installments to a tight 7, dumped 2 location shoots, and order a media blackout until tensions cooled. Word spread that Ramsey had been assigned a personal PR handler, every post vetted before it hit social, while Kaitlyn Dever received quiet salary bumps as a stability incentive. Morale cratered further when crew briefings confirmed night shoots would double to make up lost time, and some staff switched to non-union gigs just to escape the pressure cooker. By week's end, insurance auditors hovered on set, executives rotated through with fixed smiles, and behind closed doors, HBO brass reportedly weighed postponing Season 3's writer's room until all behavioral concerns are resolved. The machine was still moving, but every gear sounded like it could snap at any minute. And what the network did next would decide whether the series limped to the finish line or collapsed before credits could roll. The network's verdict came down like a half-hearted pardon. Season 3 technically renewed, but all writing suspended pending creative realignment. Translation: nobody's touching a keyboard until the Ramsey problem disappears. Days later, Neil Druckmann announced he was stepping into an advisory role only, a polite way of saying he'd rather blow up clickers than referee egos. Casting rumors spiraled. Internal emails floated a time jump so huge it could justify replacing Ellie outright, while others pitched splitting Season 3 into anthology arcs that minimize her screen time. Kaitlyn Dever's phone, meanwhile, wouldn't stop buzzing. 3 rival streamers circling with lead offers offers the moment her contract window opens. Merch numbers told another ugly story. Hoodie pre-orders down 42%, high-end statues gathering dust in warehouses. Investors pressed for answers, and HBO's reply landed like an admission of defeat. Marketing budgets slashed, Comic-Con panel canceled, advanced press screeners revoked. In the corridors where greenlights live or die, whispers grew louder. One more Twitter firestorm, and the franchise could be shuttered for good. But outside those walls, fans sharpened their theories, waiting to see whether egos or artistry would claim the final word. And now the whole saga hangs by a single fraying thread. Some insiders insist Bella Ramsey is being shredded by a double standard. Celebrated for boldness one minute, punished the next for the same fire that made Ellie unforgettable. Others swear their unchecked activism turned a collaborative set into a non-stop soapbox, scaring off talent and sponsors alike. Then there's Kaitlyn Dever, whose quiet professionalism has morphed into an unexpected power play. The more chaos she sidesteps, the brighter her star seems to glow. Fans are split down the middle. Half call Bella a fearless voice stifled by corporate panic. Half blame her for driving a stake through a franchise they loved. Meanwhile, HBO tiptoes between loyalty and damage control, praying the storm dies before another leak detonates their timeline. So where does that leave The Last of Us? A renewal without writers, a leading role one scandal away from recast, and a fandom sharpening pitchforks in every comment section. One path leads to a historic redemption arc, an evolved Ellie, a humbled cast, and Season 3 roaring back to life. The other path ends in TV's graveyard of unfinished epics, a cautionary tale about letting egos outrun the story. Which outcome wins depends on whether the next move is reconciliation or another headline-grabbing misstep. That's where you come in. Did Bella Ramsey torch her own future, or is she the scapegoat for a production that never found its footing? Did Kaitlyn Dever masterfully dodge incoming fire or quietly load the ammunition? And most important, can this show rise from the rubble, or is its clicker-infested world already past the point of no return? Drop your rawest takes below. No holding back. The sharpest, funniest, and most fearless comments will get the spotlight in our follow-up deep dive. Buckle up. In this drama-soaked apocalypse, the next twist is always one leak away, and that's where we leave the fallout, for now. The fate of this once unstoppable franchise teeters between a scorched earth collapse and a comeback story worthy of primetime legend. What's certain is that the biggest threat to Joel and Ellie was never the infected. It was the ego war raging just outside the frame. We'll be tracking every leak, late-night tweet, and back-channel whisper until the dust finally settles. If you want the next update before it explodes on your feed, tap into the comments and drop your boldest theory, redemption arc or death spiral. While you're down there, hit follow so you don't miss the moment Season 3's fate is sealed. Until then, keep those hot takes coming. Your insight could be the spark for our next deep dive.